Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of A Light in the Dark. Now, in the last episode, my overall objective hasn't really changed much at all, and it still looks like it's not going to even for this episode. I still tried to get more information about both the older woman and the young kid, and I have confirmed that they're both dealing with a massive debt, which is one of the reasons which is pretty much the reason why they are apparently impoverished like they are. And based on statements that both of them have basically stated, it looks like they also have to deal with loan sharks. So yeah, they really are in quite the bad situation. If I didn't already picked up on that from like literally the first episode or two. On top of that, emotions got also very tense here for everybody involved. Both the rich boy, who I'm controlling, whose name I still haven't even bothered to even look up again, and the older woman, well, they had a tense argument after she provoked him one too many times, and well, I'm kind of amazed that I didn't end up with a bloody nose or something. Finally, I also confirmed one thing towards the very end of the last episode. Apparently, she does intend to kill me after she gets the ransom money, and she probably will anyway, even if she doesn't. But I guess the seed of doubt has been planted in her mind here, because her inner monologues are showing me that she's having doubts as to whether or not she can go through with it. Now that she's talked to me a little bit here and actually stopped thinking me as a thing and more as a person. So there may be a ray of hope at the end of all of this for me. Now, whether or not I will get to see that ray of hope blossom into something much brighter and, well, will ultimately result in me being let go and getting the best outcome possible, I have no idea. But hopefully it will. Hopefully all my decisions throughout this whole thing will end up having been the right ones for me in the long run. But we'll find out sooner or later, I'm sure. Oh yeah, my dad is still a dick, or at least the rich kid's dad is still a dick. Still haven't heard much of anything from him at all, save for that one phone call. And yeah, something tense is going to happen sooner or later, and I mean like something that's going to undoubtedly put my life in serious danger. I have no doubt about that. The question is, when is it going to happen, and what is going to trigger it? Anyway, enough talk. Let's just go ahead and start day 4. Mist. Achievement unlocked. Dawn. My head hurts. Through my eyelids, I felt the sharp sunlight. I opened them to see the little piece of sky from the window. I passed a long night half asleep. I couldn't recall many details about last night, just how weak I was. The fluctuating temperature rendered my body powerless. My brain made me feel nauseated, like I had a hangover. I felt there was something on my forehead, then realized it was a towel. The ice had been melted by my body heat, making the towel disgustingly wet. Remembering my foggy dream, my heavy heart dropped even further to the bottom. That was the memory of my mother, as well as the last thing I wanted to remember. Was it because of the stress? Huh? I suddenly realized my hands were free. Only the deep marks on my wrists proved that I wasn't dreaming. I started to move my hands in disbelief and tried to examine the rope on my legs when I heard the cold voice of the girl next to me. Calm down. I will tie you right back up if you dare to touch the rope. The girl was already awake somehow, monitoring my every movement while holding the cell phone. I couldn't see the little girl. I assumed they were taking turns to rest, but I wasn't sure where she'd gone. After the argument and torment from last night, my own animosity against her lessened a lot. Either that or I just had no energy to care. Good morning. I coughed a few times and greeted her with Garrett's strength. You took care of me last night? She grunted unhappily. The non-committal reaction was her yes. Be quiet and save some energy to take care of yourself. Oh? Didn't know you cared about me this much. Shut up. Her shoes on the ground made a tap-tap sound. She walked to me and looked down from above. Stop acting like that. It's disgusting. Like what? Is that so? Oh? Is that so? We were always acting as some characters in life. For those we cared about and things we wanted, we acted in ways others liked. Isn't that part of being in a society? Tolerating some annoying people? And then turn yourself into a disgusting person? I'd rather die if that's the case. She interrupted my coldly and raised her knife toward me meaningfully. Hey, that's what this thing says. That's not what I said. So what's a coldly? I started to chuckle, seeing her annoyed expression. I hadn't seen such an honest expression of thoughts before. You didn't have to move a finger to kill me. If you'd left me be last night, I could have died. You still have some use now. After that, anything is fair game. She paused before finishing the sentence. There was some seriousness in her expression. You'll kill me after getting the money. After the silence, I decided to be transparent. She hesitated, then noncommittally shook her head. Who knows? Her attitude seemed to have softened from before. At least she no longer hit me at random or threatened to kill me. Progress! If they really didn't care, they wouldn't have bothered to buy medicine for me. It could be my wishful thinking, but I rather believed they had no intention to really do it. So my next step should be, let's try to cooperate. I should cooperate and establish a better relationship with them. I might be able to persuade them after winning their trust. Anyway, thank you. For what? For taking care of me. She stumbled momentarily before responding. Tell your dad to cough up the money faster then. What are you laughing at? Nothing. I didn't mean to enrage her, so I shook my head, indicating it was nothing. A hostage thanking their kidnapper. This sort of development would make anyone doubt his or her sanity. The argument from yesterday was like a switch, bring forth emotions long forgotten. Is there anything to eat? My improving condition led to a better appetite. I asked her for food. Here. First a pack of cookies. Then she threw a can of something else over. I picked up the can and stared at the cola in hand in confusion. I had no idea why this sort of thing would be here. Do I drink this? Duh, what else would you do with soda? Science experiment! Thanks. I still had no clue, but wouldn't say no to a chance to switch things up. I opened up the cookies obediently to fill my stomach with something first, then washed them down with soda. So sweet. Since all I had were crackers and steamed buns, the sudden assault of flavor was too much. Take the medicine afterwards. I have no time to babysit you. The medicine she spoke of was on the desk. The effect was immediate and didn't make me sleepy. I wondered what it was made of. The food and partial freedom allowed me to relax my mind a little. A relaxed hostage? I must have been getting too comfortable with the situation. But you probably are, to be fair. We will let you go once your dad pays. As though reading my mind, she spoke to me calmly. This was the softest tone she'd ever used, as though she was comforting me. Not able to bear that gaze, I looked to the window. The more time we spent together, the more I understood her thoughts, her anger, her contempt, and deep down, her unease. If there was a way to avoid harming anyone and end all this peacefully. I shook my head, laughing at myself for the naivety of that thought. New scene opened? Click the arrow so you can observe the new scene. Bathroom. That looks new. I'm not sure if there's anything in here I'd really want to examine except for maybe either the mirror or the bathtub, in case there is like some loose tile or something in the bathtub I could use if I wanted to go the escape route. Let's try chatting first. How much money did you actually owe? How much money do you actually owe? Why are you asking this? It was rare she didn't reply in mean words, just coldly. Is there no other option? Option? Even $1 million debt shouldn't lead to kidnapping. You can save that much if you work hard for a few years. Work hard? She burst into laughter and looked at me casually while supporting her head. My dad doesn't have a company for me to work for. What kind of job do you think I could find? Dishwasher? Bar girl? Prostitute? And what if I cleared the debt? Then what? Finally starting my life at age 30 or 40? Changing the subject, she asked me coldly in return. Why do I need to spend that much time while others can just coast by? If the world is never fair, then I'd rather gamble it all. Worst case scenario is just a death penalty. Not that different from now. What is next? Hey. So what's your plan after getting the money? Why do you ask? She suspiciously turned her head to me, waiting for my answer. Just curious. How boring. During the long wait, I had nothing to kill time with but chatting. She stayed silent for a bit, tapping the cigarette ash on the desk, and quietly opened her mouth. I want to start over. Somewhere where no one knows about me. The face of the girl stayed in her vision was so determined, like some pious nun praying. There was neither passion nor desire, just serenity. I don't care what kind of job I get. I just want to save some money and live a normal life where I can sleep under a roof and eat properly. You can't do that now. It didn't sound that impossible. She could have just grabbed a knapsack and gone off to the countryside like those work exchange folks. Now? She laughed and waved her hand, as though I just asked something really stupid. No fucking way. Even if you change your face or name, they'll still hunt you down as long as you owe them money. But even if you got the money and paid off the debt, could you really get out of this that easily? Whether through surveillance camera footage or call records, it was impossible to escape from the pursuit of the police thanks to modern technology. Escaping abroad might be an option, but the language barrier and the lack of cash would also be problematic. I didn't know if she had thought about this, but it was weird for me to ask her anyway. Is that strange to you? Nope. I thought of similar things. I think everyone has. Going someplace where no one knows who you are. Away from the stigma or any expectations. Just to live as your true self. Oh? Why would you want that? Are you still not satisfied with your life? Men are greedy animals. Noticing I didn't speak the truth, she hesitantly opened her mouth, but nothing came out in the end. Let's observe this thing. It's a 6-pack cola. Its packaging indicates that it's salt flavored. I haven't really had salted cola since elementary school due to its inexplicably weird taste. Where did she even get it from? So you drink cola when you're sick, huh? What do you drink then? Don't you usually have a sports drink? Maybe hot ginger tea? Nanny would usually make a huge bowl of that for me to drink when I was sick. Just the smell made my scalp tingle. But now even that had become a special memory. That's what we drink in our family. Every time someone got sick, my dad would buy a whole box of it. Said it could fight the fever. More information about her dad. I should have checked that thing first. The topic brought forth some memories for her. There was some inexplicable emotion as she gazed toward the window. Did it work? I did hear about drinking cola when you have heat stroke, so in that regard it did make sense, I guess. Who knows? It's not poison anyway, and it's not as bad as some other sweet drinks. It doesn't matter if it works. It's just a habit. Just like some need to pray before a meal, or some only smoke a certain brand of cigarette. When a behavior becomes a habit, it starts to take on another meaning, and leads to many memories. Looking at the side of her face, deep in thought, I realized even she had a sentimental side. Noontime. Seeing that I had gotten better, she walked towards me with that rope. The rope, excuse me. Your hands. Do you really need to tie me up? I can't escape like this. This or this. Take your pick. She motioned to the rope in her left hand, then the knife on the right. Rope. Just please be more gentle. She nimbly bound my hands. My wounds burned upon contact with the rope's rough surface. Its stamina drained. The bread she brought back for lunch was the classic scallion bread, with pork floss. The long-absent flavor spread in my mouth and made this meal a feast after days of nothing but nutritive biscuits, if I could just speak that word. In contrast to me wolfing down the bread, she showed no appetite next to the window. What was she thinking about? I decided to focus on the bread before me, since I just recovered from illness. You bought so many flavors this time. How come? Maybe she just wanted to diversify her diet? Seeing all the flavors in the bag, I was confused by her generosity. They're leftovers. They were gonna throw them out anyway. She coldly turned her head and grunted with distaste. I hate those fancy shops that take pride in their quality. They'd rather throw out bread than give it to those in need. Do you know what they say? If we gave the leftovers to others, the original customers would never buy them. All for such a petty reason. Ha! She mockingly laughed, despising the self-proclaimed fancy shops. From their point of view, they do have a point. Well, capitalism, man. They gotta make money somehow in order to sustain themselves. I replenished some strength after filling my stomach and started to chat with her. It might be hard to understand. Just like people not getting why others would pay thousands of Taiwan dollars for a steak, or much more for a pair of headphones. For most people, food was just to relieve hunger. For some people, however, it was a pursuit of the ultimate sensation of taste. Time does affect the bread's texture. The store needs to maintain the quality for their reputation. If the shop cut the price when there was some left over, then people would only come right before closing. This would affect the profitability negatively. He gets it. I initially wanted to explain the impact of an expectation mindset, but decided to go with a simpler way to explain it. The shop needs to make a profit, so it is only natural for them to. Only natural? I think I said the wrong thing. Didn't I just say? It's not a matter of throwing it away or not, but the mentality of the customers would impact profit. That's what pisses me off! What quality? What reputation? So some brand reputation is more important than starving people? Does nothing matter besides the money? That's natural to you? Her staring eyes were burning with fire, like those that had seen the worst of humanity and were overflowing with rage. That's the shop's freedom of choice. Even if you disagree, that was their freedom of choice. Freedom of choice? Keep that bullshit in a textbook. It is a choice when rich people want to waste their money however they want. Meanwhile, I had to work to pay off a debt as a kid and couldn't even have a place to live. Is that my choice? Or you want to say I should just stop working and starve to death on the street? Some freedom of choice that is. I couldn't respond to her argument. Oops, whoops. They all say one must work hard for the opportunity, but no one will tell you. You only have less than half the time others have due to your family. They say society only cares about your abilities. Generally speaking, yes they do. But no one will tell you that poverty will hide you from ever being seen. They say people are born equal, yet no one will tell you that is just a lie. Well, it is true no one can decide his or her upbringing, I guess. I could only respond with this after staying silent for a while. It just sounded like an excuse. Sounds fair to you, rich boy? My sincerest apologies. She grunted and turned her head away. End of conversation. Why do I think I might have made the wrong conversation point just then? The girl was looking outside the window with a cigarette. She was always extra quiet when smoking, like it was some serious ritual. Probably because she's trying to remember the scent of the cigarettes and maybe pleasant memories of her father. I don't know, I'm just thinking random stuff as I go. In a room only a few square feet in size, two people with opposite backgrounds quietly sat preoccupied with their own thoughts. How old was she? What happened? Why was she doing this? I thought I didn't care, but the more time we spent together, the more I realized how different she was from my imagination. Well, imagine that. Now both of you are coming to realize that neither of you are quite like what you both thought of each other as. Even more progress. Maybe we can come to a peaceful resolution after all. The criminals in the news all looked evil and inhumane. It was hard to imagine they have their stories too. Things they like, things they hate, the people they cherish, their worries, their thoughts. There was a sentence from a book. Everyone tried to live better. No one would think of him or herself as being irrational or crazy. If you felt that way, that meant you didn't know that person well enough. I didn't try to understand them. The fast-paced modern society made it exhausting to take care of oneself, let alone others. We didn't care what others were like. Labeling them as good guy or bad guy was just that much easier. Just because it was easy doesn't mean it's the right thing that you should do. So, okay. Anything new at all? No. I'm not gonna rest again. I think I'm still okay. Do we know each other? Do we know each other? No way. Our lives have nothing to do with yours. Hearing my question, she snorted mockingly. Really? Somehow I think I've seen you before. Hearing how insistent I was, she tilted her head and started thinking. Maybe in the shop. No, that's impossible. Or maybe you've seen me on the news, or in the police station. Huh? Her smile seemed to sharply cut me. Her pointed words made it hard to get too close. Then why me? Huh. Still thinking about that? She sighed impatiently. She waved her hand to indicate she'd lost interest in this exchange. Your dad is filthy rich and you live by yourself. Can you think of a better target? Or you think there was some backstory? Just blame yourself for being too careless and your dad for being too rich. I was still uncertain if the culprit was someone I knew. The fact she knew this much about my household was just bizarre. That question aside, didn't she just mention a shop? Yes, she did. She had worked in a shop. What kind of shop? Is there an option for a shop? Guess not. What do you plan to do with the little girl? That girl. What's your plan? Will you let her go home after getting the money? Who? The one calling you Big Sis. She'll be with me, of course. I heard some gangs would manipulate underage girls and make them into a lackey to avoid arrest. It had been only a few days, but it was clear that little girl didn't know anything, and only followed instructions from her big sis. She even looked worried when I was sick. It was just too cruel to ask a kid of that age to be the scapegoat. Does her family know about this? Family? I think it was a mistake to choose this dialogue option. She frowned upon my question. There was some sort of communication barrier something seemed to miss. She has a family, right? Or did they abandon her? I am her family. Huh? I couldn't make sense of it at that moment and just froze there, forgetting about what she even just said. Didn't she call me Big Sis? Wait, so you really are her sister? Like sister? What else could it be? I don't know, adoptive siblings? She impatiently crossed her arms across her chest and asked matter-of-factly. So... I thought she must be like her boss, or maybe some surrogate sister. But if that was the case, then her faith in Big Sis would make sense. They are a blood relative after all. Nothing. Just that you don't look alike. They look similar enough to me. Is that so? Oh. She suspiciously looked at me and burst into laughter upon realization. She saw through me. You thought she was like my lackey, and I would send her to jail in my place once I get the money? She was smiling, but there was no warmth in her expression. Are you kidding me? I'll take responsibility of my own actions. Not like you people that grab all the goodies and stuff others with shit. I just think your little sister is a good kid, and would rather she doesn't get involved. Oh, so you actually care about us? She replied absent-mindedly, as though not believing one word I'd said. Note updated. Achievement unlocked, bonding. So that was the right thing to do? So they're really siblings. No wonder she was this protective. No shit. Why not? Let's go observe the bathroom. What's in the tub? These sort of patterned tiles are pretty much representative of older homes like this one. I'm not sure when this sort of design was even popular. It seems pretty, but also catches dirt easily. You wouldn't even want to step in it after a certain period of time. Nighttime. Finally. The girl put down the phone and loosened her tensed brow, along with a sigh of relief. What's up? Lucky for you, things have worked out. Your dad will pay tomorrow. Well, how about that? I guess on the surface it would appear that you're getting your money. But how do we know that this isn't just some kind of trick? For real? Duh. Why would I lie to you? I don't know, because you're planning to kill me later? Probably. She seemed to be in a rather good mood since all I got was just a look, rather than a solid flying kick. Stay put and nothing will happen to you. So you will let me go? Who knows? Just don't have any funny ideas and wait patiently until tomorrow. She gave no promise and just shrugged with an ambiguous attitude. It went differently than I expected. According to my understanding of my father, he would have tried to buy more time to let the police track the kidnappers down. Yet instead, he conceded rather easily. Did he really plan to just pay up? Knowing him, he wouldn't believe the kidnappers' claims so easily. He must have a plan. No idea. I didn't know what he had in mind, which was a sad realization of how distant our relationship was. Why do you look so pissed? Did your brain burn out? She asked with a little surprise, after seeing me not say anything with a lowered head. As if. I responded vaguely. Well, I don't think things would go this smoothly. I had no intention to tell my kidnapper that. Without noticing my concerns, she mumbled before opening a can of soda next to the window. Ha. Oh, that was a sigh. She leaned back against the wall and let out a long, tired sigh. She clearly didn't have it better than me. Outside preventing me from escaping, she also had to worry about the police and negotiation process with my family. It might seem like it'd be over soon, but the key event was tomorrow. Would they really pay as promised? Could it just be a means to buy time? They always say parents will pay any amount of money for their children's safety. Don't make me laugh. We are not a normal family. Nothing could be done with this broken excuse of a relationship. Despite telling myself not to have any hope, I still wished for them to pay up. A self-contradiction even I couldn't really explain. Yet another similarity that you have with the older woman here. A self-contradiction regarding your feelings for your parents. My head started to ache again while pondering it. I tried to rest against the wall, but all sorts of thoughts stuck in my mind. Be a good boy at home, okay? Liar. So what's with your mother? Huh? I came back to my senses from the fuzzy memory and answered absent-mindedly. Why is there no contact at all from your mother? Yeah. Why didn't I think of that before? That is strange. At least his father actually made some kind of contact after a couple days, but absolutely nothing from the mother so far? Oh, great. I think I might be forming a theory. So, I'm still going with the idea that there was absolutely nobody who knew this kid's schedule, his life schedule, besides building security for cram school and his own parents. So if there really is absolutely nobody else who could have known this information and fed it to this woman here, then it had to have been either somebody who was working from the building security at the cram school, or it had to be maybe one of his parents. And if it's one of his parents, then it makes me wonder, why hasn't the mother made any attempt to contact the kidnappers? Tried to find out the status of her son? I feel like I need more definitive proof here, just to be 100% certain my claims, but I'm now honestly starting to wonder. Did this kid's mom orchestrate his own kidnapping or something? And if that's the case, why? Just to get back at the husband or something? Although to be fair, then again, I think if either of them wanted to get back at the other, I would assume it'd probably be the father if he had any idea here that his wife was basically cheating on him, which I'm all but 100% certain that's what she does on a fairly regular basis too. So maybe if either of them had any reason to basically use their kid as a proxy for revenge, it'd probably be him with the mother, but who the hell knows? But it really is strange that we haven't heard anything from her yet. So honestly, I'm not sure what to think. If it was either of them, I'm not sure which one of them is actually the most likely here in this situation. Although gut instinct is kind of having me lean towards the mother, just for the fact that there's been absolutely no word from her so far. Why is there no contact at all from your mother? She is right here in Taiwan, but refuses to show up after her own son is kidnapped. That's strange. Maybe she's busy. All the unpleasant memories came to mind, making me try to change the subject reflexively. Are you kidding me? She raised her eyebrow, clearly not pleased with this answer. In retrospect, it wasn't really a convincing answer, but I still didn't intend to say more than that. Why do you care about my family? Are you an arranged marriage agent? If you let me go, I can give you my number. I stopped right in the middle of the sentence. She giving you the evil eye? There was only my voice throughout the conversation. She would normally have interrupted me by now. The strange silence spread across the room. I lifted my gaze and looked into her black eyes. They're not black, they're brown. You can't even keep your eye color straight in your head. Realizing I sucked at hiding my thoughts. You really talk a lot when it is about things you don't want to answer. Is that some rich boy habit? Maybe. I didn't expect her to notice such details, so I acknowledged her sharp observation with a bitter smile. Didn't you figure me all out already? You should know our relationship was bad. All I care about is if you have money. Your relationship is none of my business. Why now then? I responded casually, but couldn't help but wonder about the intention behind this question. Sheer curiosity? I felt it wasn't that simple. I just wanted to hear from you what's wrong with your mom. Even Mr. Ken said it was pointless to contact her. Who is Mr. Ken? Mr. Ken? So you two do have other people working with you. Never mind. So, you gonna talk or not? Seeing her impatiently brushing her hair, I lowered my head to ponder how to respond. I didn't know where to start, really. It was embarrassing and I didn't feel the need to tell her. What? Is she your stepmother? Or your father's mistress? See me now pondering, she started to guess randomly and managed to get pretty close to the truth. Something like that. Just the roles are reversed. Huh? In the end, I decided to go with the easiest explanation. My mom had another man. It wasn't really something I couldn't talk about, but it just triggered tons of unhappy memories. Since I was a kid, she often went out with someone, but I didn't know where to and what for. It sometimes would take her a whole week before she came home. Even the housekeeper couldn't give me a direct answer. Your mom is having an affair. There'd be no way for me to tell a 10-year-old that either. I freaking knew it. Oh? She supported her head with a smile on her face, which looked more like gloating than sympathy. You guys are strange, always doing these sort of things. Affair, inheritance fight. Don't you have better things to do? Not expecting me to answer, she started to talk to herself and laughed, as though hoping to balance things out by hearing of others' misfortune. What a poor man your dad is, making all the money abroad just to raise a woman for another man. Well, when you put it like that, he knows. He knows? I said it casually and saw her staring at me dumbfounded. Yeah, he knew about my mother's affair. Cool story, right? Are you an idiot? Have a sense of humor. Why didn't they divorce? Did he forgive her? Or maybe your mother has the money? She ignored my joke and kept prying. After confirming the ransom payment, she'd become a lot more talkative. Who knows? I don't care, nor do I want to figure it out. They like it this way, and I can't do anything about it. I actually asked about that, just once. I could never forget his reaction back then, It wasn't a good reaction, I assume. I angrily told him about Mother's affair, and the hand touching me tensed up immediately. Yet the shock only stayed on his face momentarily, before being replaced by another emotion. Some sense of relief. Relief? He softly rubbed my head and told me Mommy didn't have an affair. I simply misunderstood. Misunderstood? No explanation, just one single word. With the company increasing in size, he spent more and more time abroad. Never did he ask of Mother's whereabouts, nor confront her, as though nothing happened. Why didn't he ask her? Why didn't they divorce? Why feign ignorance? I couldn't ask anything, seeing his soft smile, and the unanswered questions became the gap between us. It got wider over time, until it became an unfixable distance. Maybe he has a mistress too. Marriage was just a ruse. Maybe. I wouldn't be surprised. Does your dad still love her? After staying silent for a while, she eventually asked. I don't know. At least I couldn't. I didn't say the second part, and it didn't matter what the answer was. I deleted her phone number that day and moved out during high school, keeping minimal contact with my family. Since money came in every month, meeting up or not didn't matter. Maybe she knew that we already found out about it. No, maybe she wanted us to find out. In retrospect, too many things didn't make sense. There were better excuses for the affair to keep me from discovering it. She wanted Dad to know. Unbelievable as it was, it did explain many things. To force him to propose divorce, testing his reaction. Regardless of the motive, there was no argument or confrontation as I expected. Just the status quo. Maybe she wanted to get alimony by forcing your dad to divorce? No one would openly have an affair to get alimony. No judge would be so stupid. She tried to find an explanation with a darkened expression. Save it. You won't find an answer. They've been like this for years. They at least tried to hide it from me when I was young. Now they don't even bother. The moment he was on the plane, she was already on her way to spend the night with another man. She just needed to play a good wife when he came home, as though nothing happened. It was like an adult version of playing house. The curtain raised and everyone played their arranged parts. You are the dad working abroad. You are the mom taking care of the house. You are the kid that needs to go to school. We all knew it was fake, but no one would spell it out. This whole life story of yours is starting to depress me, man. Like, honestly. I kept thinking that if my dad's company wasn't that big, if my family wasn't that rich, maybe things could have been different. You think things would be different without the money? I expected that to trigger her. She started laughing coldly. Why is it so difficult to just openly discuss this? Do you really have to make it more complicated? Seeing her angry reaction, I somehow felt a little reassured. I finally confirmed I, myself, wasn't abnormal, but that my family relationship was abnormal. Things wouldn't go away if you pretended you didn't see them. That was just lying to yourself. Make things clear and break up if there is no more love. Don't keep perpetuating a lie if you don't want to be together. How simple is that? Maybe they're just chasing after shadows. There are a lot of relationships like that in the world, where people fall out of love, and they either just stay for convenience, like, I don't know, finances or something like that, or maybe because they're trying to chase the ghost of the person they fell in love with, or at least the feelings that they got from the person. Human relationships are fucking complicated as hell, what can I say? They can be startlingly simple and yet ridiculously complicated all at once. Who knows? They like it that way. I didn't want to argue with her. The world is too complicated. Too many people, too many things that will take a lifetime to understand. Why do they do that? Why does society function like this? Why can't one ever be satisfied? I don't know. If there is no answer, then you just accept it. Reality won't change just because you don't agree with it, or because you know the cause. Don't know? Are you nuts? She waved her hand impatiently, as though nothing I said was worth a dime. Why don't you figure it out if you find it strange? Are you some soap opera protagonist? You don't get it. Even if You're the one who doesn't get it. Abruptly interrupting me, she coldly responded. You don't know how lucky you are. You don't know how many people envy you. You just keep saying you can't do it. How many people want to be like you? And yet here you are, telling me, I wish I had less money. So quit the self-pity. You are lucky, rich boy. If you want to escape from even this type of problem, you may as well just die. Angry as usual, but this time it seemed different. I could tell she was treating what I'd said seriously, and was dumbfounded by that realization. I never told anyone about my family. I realized it wouldn't matter even if I did. Is that it? How come? Poor thing. The pointless reactions were just exhausting. No one really cared, and then it became a random subject of chit-chat. It was like talking about disasters on social media. All the self-righteous comments were really just empty words on things that had nothing to do with you. All it did was notify others. Hey, I know about this. I have a heart. It's all meaningless. If you want to escape from even this type of problem, you may as well just die. Upon hearing that, I realized I was escaping. Fearing that atmosphere. Fearing my parents. I ran into my own world and never attempted to negotiate with them. What? Say something. See me not saying anything else. She stared at me coldly while brushing her messy hair. No, you are right. I sighed. I actually felt much better despite my situation remaining the same. She went silent, hoping to see if I was mocking her or being honest. Then she spat and turned her head away, seemingly more awkward than mad. Doesn't matter what you think. I won't be seeing you again after getting the money tomorrow. Good luck. She lit up a cigarette. The faint tobacco smell permeated the room, along with the cool night air. If they did get the money tomorrow and everything just ended, that would be the best possible outcome. I shook my head and laughed at myself. Even I couldn't believe that. Life is fated to be a tragedy. We thus live in hope of a miracle. Life will only become a tragedy if you allow it to be. Some tragedies, some unfortunate events are indeed inevitable no matter what you may do. Life sometimes just throws you one hell of a curveball and it just completely catches you blindsided. I would know. I've had plenty of those happen to me throughout my own life. And it freaking just shook the status quo like nothing else. Possibly forever. But at the end of the day, I think what matters most is your own mindset on how you choose to react to the curveballs. How you choose to deal with the cards dealt to you. I think it's better to just try to make the best of a situation rather than just contemplate over how life is inevitably going to turn out this way or that way over this and that. Rather than just staring at my navel about contemplating this stuff, why not just try to make something out of it? Try to make life more positive for yourself, something worth living. Life doesn't have to be a tragedy if you honestly don't want it to be. Or at least not a complete and utterly hopeless one. Not something that doesn't have some bit of a bright spot to it. And yes, I know, easier said than done for a lot of people, but speaking for myself, I want to try to always see the good side in things. I don't like being miserable or thinking that life around me is just falling apart in some way or another. Otherwise, life would just be miserable for me. If I just allowed myself to wallow in despair, frankly. I'll get off my soapbox now. I recalled that line. The air I breathed out turned into white smoke. Through it all, I saw the foggy moon outside of the window. Even if just once, I hoped a miracle would happen. At 3 o'clock in the morning, the girl was falling asleep in a chair. She had woken up a few times in a fit of drowsiness. Even the energy drink didn't help much. Worrying she might really fall asleep, she decided to sit next to the door with the blanket. There was only one exit. He would have to go through here if he wanted to escape. Even triple-checking the ropes couldn't remove the unease. The image of him escaping came to her mind every time she closed her eyes. It would be all over in a few hours. That was the simple determination that kept her going till now. She had imagined how she would pay off the debt multiple times, and now she could see the end of the line. She didn't know how to avoid arrest or what to do afterward. She just had the belief that things would be different. You really need to find a different option other than this, because it's just not going to end well. Come on, it's not too late. Just a few more hours. The quiet sleep-talking echoed through the room. The girl secretly closed her eyes. Day 5 choice, huh? I wonder if day 5 is going to be the last one. It may well be, but who the hell knows? But with a name like that, Choice, I wouldn't be surprised at all if it really was the final day. And that we're going to get some kind of conclusion, good or bad. All this talking about the rich kid's life story and all this philosophical talk has me slightly contemplative and a little depressed. So, and since I went, I think I might as well just go ahead and just end the video here. I can contemplate my navel off camera. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of A Light in the Dark. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I guess we'll find out what kind of ending everybody is going to get in the next episode. And I hope that all my decisions were the right ones in the end. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.